Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. It's Craig Pash with the DS Sports. As always, we're joined by Sean, Cammy, and Don once again. And in this episode, we're going to be going through a few hypothetical scenarios I'll put through to the guys and play a little bit of a game and see what their professional player knowledge is. That's the clue I'll give to you, and we'll see how that goes. Maybe something a bit new, but something that hopefully we'll go down all right. How we doing, gentlemen? Another fine Saturday afternoon, no doubt.
Hi. Bad haircut. I'm in a bad mood today.
It is a bad haircut, to be fair.
You've been absolutely butchered.
I've been 10
Mate, you should just shave all that off.
Maybe I should go for the full jar head.
No bad. Yeah, we've got some football coming back this time next week as well. I mean, obviously not a league that we're very familiar with in the Bundesliga, but
Yeah, the football's already back. The K-League was on yesterday.
Aye, it was on today.
Was it on today as well? I can't believe I missed it.
Belarusian game has not stopped either, can I just say?
No.
It's not a very good one.
We're more familiar with.
Still better than Warfare.
A Dynamo Minsk still at the bottom.
No, I don't think they are.
Beat us.
FC Minsk beat us, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's had a fight after the game, after they beat us in penalties.
We had about 95 yellow cards, but not one red card for the away team.
And we dominated the entire game. They had one attack and scored for it and beat us 1-0 and then got us to penalties, so we beat them in Minsk.
That's a fully tragic night in the history of St John's.
We beat Rosenborg that year, then got beat by that lot, didn't we?
And we won away after even just avoid defeat at home and you're through to play Standard Liège, and we lose 1-0.
and they had literally had one attack all game.
One shot, one goal. Yeah, it was a classic 4-4 smash and grab.
Oh, shot. Great, that's how you, eh? Right, anyway, like I say, we've got a few questions, a few hypothetical scenarios I'm going to swing to you. It's kind of, it's fairly hypothetical. Some of it's related to your club. Some of it's related to other stuff that people have talked about. One that I've kind of thrown in there just for a wee laugh.
Can I ask Patty a question?
What's that? Go for it.
What do you follow?
What?
What club do you follow?
I won't answer the questions.
All right.
Patty supports football.
Yeah, you've got a cheek saying that. You're half St Johnstone, half Celtic. You've got half and half scarf.
Yeah.
But so the first question I put to you guys is: there's been a lot of talk about a potential Saudi takeover at Newcastle recently. So I ask you, if a Saudi billionaire took over your club, what would be, if so, right, okay, let's put it this way. If you were the Saudi billionaire who came in and bought your club with all the money and all that kind of jazz, other than playing staff, so signing players, what is the first thing you do to the club? What's the first order of business?
Well, I'll take this one first. I'd get rid of Kirsten Robertson and bring back Tommy.
So you're bringing back the old management team.
Not even a week. It's not even been a week.
Already.
Worse than
You like your shit, just want Tommy back. Yeah.
Get to that chief executive, bring him back.
So it's straight up, get the manager back. So you're not saying, improve your facilities, like, put money in.
There's no point in me trying to improve the stadium because we need to find fans to fill it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You can knock them. They'll be all right.
Buy fans, buy a fan base.
Buy those pop-up things they got in Belarus for the fans to make it look like folk are there. A good PA system to make it sound like people are cheering.
A cardboard Boris Johnson for our farming fans.
Oh God, it gets worse.
No, I don't know what. Actually, what would I do? On a serious note, what would I do if I got St Johnson?
Mate, I'd build a full training facility, full training facility, full youth facility, and then like Hearts are already well known for the youngsters, so we'd be dominating with that.
Yeah. That was kind of the answer that was more the sort of areas I was kind of expecting, but like more behind the scenes stuff. But I was, yeah.
Aye, but weren't you expecting cardboard cutouts of Boris Johnson? They poured it across there. You probably get that for a tenner, Don.
What are you saying, Don?
Can I take this one on?
Go for it.
I would offer a bumper contract to Greg Kerr and get a centre half pairing of Jason Kerr and Greg Kerr. Imagine the fans.
They're not allowed to touch players though. You just said that.
No, I actually say similar to Cammy. I would get a big sort of training complex because we currently train at the university, which is not ideal for a club our size. Enough, Cammy. But I'd get our own training.
Our size.
I would move ground personally. I'm not a big fan of McDermott. I think it's quite dated now. I would move ground.
Okay.
Ooh.
Interesting.
No, I wouldn't leave it down. I would build a training facility on the right hand side as you walked in the car park, behind the East Stand. I'd build a training facility in there, leave the asset of pitch, but probably put a roof on it so you can do it all weather. And then I would probably resurface the car park because I think it's a shambles.
Oh my god! You can have anything. What are you going to do with his money? Resurface the car park.
The car park is a shambles, to be fair.
Mate, stop SPFL titles. So Jason, what do you think really changed it for you this season? Has to be the car park.
It has to be the car park.
Driving that, maybe injuries. Oh,
you get a statue of Tommy Wright next to the gate.
Like gold.
What's that?
Like solid gold statue of Tommy Wright.
Oh no, definitely get nicked in that area, pair.
I was going to say.
Definitely nicked that.
Doing your dash on.
Being cash converters by the Monday morning.
Yeah, Ramsden's.
Hi, what would you do to Forfar? Forfar had a Saudi show.
I think it's quite simple. Certainly, professional football would be where it's at. Trying, obviously, if team being professional is the utmost priority with all that money coming in, and then see what happens from there. I know I kind of said nothing to do with the team, but certainly professional status is where it should be. Because I didn't want to say like playing staff, because then you'd all say, right, I'm going to sign Mbappe, and I'm like, no.
Mbappe would get abused at Tynecastle though.
We're not going to. We are not going to.
I'm not sure if I have to edit that out now.
No, it's fine. It's just fact, Patty. It's true, so it's fine.
Oh, here we go.
Right. Okay. I'm glad we covered that one. That was quite good, actually. That was quite. I'm pleased by the informative nature of the answers you gave me.
Resurfacing car parks, especially.
Car park.
Right. So the next question it's very hypothetical because I know this happened over a decade ago. If Gretna were still alive and still continuing their financial, payouts and all this kind of jazz,
irregularities.
So if they were still going, to the same extent, spending all this money, where would they be in the leagues right now?
What, if it was like sustained?
So if they were as it is, so basically the Gretna of 2005-06 were in the present day with the money they were spending, where would they be now?
Well, I think you've got to look at that season. Gretna were also in the cup final, so they were competing with top league sides, and it only really went downhill when the owner's money was pulled out. I think he was very ill, and his family.
He died not long after.
I reckon if they had sustained that money, which was huge financial input, and it wasn't against the law, I think they'd be a sort of a club the same size or as maybe Saints or maybe Kilmarnock, that sort of area, I would say, in terms of league position.
They would probably get fourth or fifth if they sustained what they were doing, I would have said.
Yeah, because
they wouldn't Aberdeen.
I think, it was like as soon as the money dried up and the owner took ill and obviously passed away not long after that, I think there was £8 million in debt.
Yeah, which was never paid either.
Which obviously never got paid because they went into insolvency and went back to the bottom of the leagues.
And
quite
yet
rightly so, they'll stay there too.
He's still.
Yeah.
Which is a race in my opinion.
What was that? What did you say, Don?
last month on Gretna, and they called it a fairy tale still, when it was not a fairy tale. Like furthest from that, just a rich billionaire chucking cash at a team that were tiny, paying huge wages to average players to get them up to the top league. Hardly a fairy tale.
Yeah.
But like, you see that a lot. Like, you see that with was it Billericay down south, and you seen that, and they were signing all sorts of players. Who was it they had? They had Paul Kincheski. Who else was it? Jermaine Pennant went to them. The boy O'Hara for Spurs.
O'Hara, yeah.
I think it's a common thing down south, but I think up here, like, it's difficult because obviously, like, up to like the top of League One, the majority of the teams are semi-pro. Like, they're not full time. So
I think what would have stemmed the growth of Gretna is the actual location of Gretna itself. Like, nobody really wants to go down to the borders really for and just play for Gretna.
You have to look at boy, I know plays for Berwick Rangers, and I was watching something about how they've nearly went under as well in recent years, just because they can't get the footfall through the door. And I suppose it's just because of the location. Like, if you're like, I can't even tell you what league they're in now. I think they're in the Lowland League, but even in like
the Lowland League, yeah.
So it's madness, like. But I think like location wise, like Gretna and like Berwick and teams like that, like, I suppose it's a bit like your Elgins and Peterheads and things like that, like away up the other end of Scotland. Like, nobody really wants to go there.
I don't know. But getting big players, because of the money they were paying, like they had players like Alan Main play for them because they were on like, I don't know, a couple of grand a week playing like first division, which was mental at the time. Just huge salaries. They were always going to do well and paying that sort of money.
Yeah. I kind of just thought about that, and I was like, they had such heavy expenditure going on in that day that was like the likes of which we've not really seen again from anyone outside the top two. So it's anyone outside the old firm. So it was just on that sort of interesting.
I think you can maybe argue, maybe not at the same extent, but the Romanov era at Hearts, like, that was like, see a lot of the podcasts were like Paul Hartley and who else was it that was on it? Was it Elva, Stephen? No, I don't think Stephen Presley's been on it. But there was like, it come out with Paul Hartley and like the amount that Romanov was spending at Hearts, like, it's mental, like,
I mind Hartley saying wrong, like, was it up to like $6,000 a win sometimes? It's mental.
Aye, like the win bonuses were ridiculous. Like, he was spending like 10k on suits and stuff, like pre-game suits. And then like they had all these pyrotechnics as they walked out to the stadium and stuff like that, and you're like, it's mental, like how they spent that much money.
Yeah. Right. Well, on that, we'll move on to the next one. So this is pretty much like either or, kind of. So I know it's a bit of a touchy one for Cammy, obviously, with the circumstances going on. If your team was in the second tier, if your team was in the second tier, would you rather gain promotion or win the Scottish Cup and go into Europe?
Gain promotion, obviously.
Scottish Cup in Europe.
Are you having a laugh? And what world is the second division club going to be able to compete in Europe?
But a cup win you'd always take over a first division title win.
Nah,
I take a promotion over there and like.
You take a promotion every day of the week.
I guess
right. Queen of the South went to Europe. Maybe Queen of the South went to Europe. Like 9 seasons ago, Queen of the South went to Europe and they were absolutely atrocious.
Yeah,
like, you just get absolutely pummeled.
Yeah. So there's no point. You might as well just get promotion and get yourself in the Premier League and try and build yourself back up.
Europe as well. I think they got beaten like 5-1 by Derry or something.
Who was that?
Gretna made it to Europe as well one year.
Oh, was that not? Would that have been after the cup final defeat? Maybe.
I think so. Yeah, because that was when the rules.
Yeah, who was the cup final defeat against again?
Very good. Yeah. It took your penalties, man. I just kind of thought about that a wee bit because obviously there's the big accolade of European football, but then you're also.
But the thing is, the European football is realistically with the coefficient with the Scottish League, it's only going to be 2 games, and you're probably going to get hammered with like a Malmo or like
a big team in the first round.
Or something like that.
Do you remember when Hibs played Malmo?
I was not going to bring that up because
an embarrassment for a game party that night. An absolute embarrassment.
What was the result? Was it not like 7-0?
7-1 at Easter Road.
No,
I don't know what.
7 score.
Did they not? I thought it
No.
was 7-1.
I just remember the headline next day of 7-Up. That was it. It was like a kind of 7-Up. The Hibs badge.
I don't know what it was across 2 legs though. Was it not like 12 or 13? I'm sure it was like double figures, definitely.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, but I just
Was
knew
that
that it was
part of Finland? Was that part of Finland?
I'm sure it was part of Finland. Was it not the season after the 5-1 final? Did he
Might have
stay
been.
that year though?
Yes, it
Can't
was.
remember.
Right, you're right. Yeah.
And then
like-
he went in about January time of that season, I'm sure.
That was a bad result. Like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh, I'm glad we've got both sides of the spectrum there. I did think maybe gaining promotion was a bit, the heavy.
Patty, what would you do? Patty, what would you take, right? If you're fourth or in League One now, would you take promotion to the Championship with potential to go full time, or would you take like a quarter final, semi final cup run?
In the Iron Brew Tulloch's Tea Cake Wafer Cup.
I mean, I was going to be nice and say the Scottish.
I don't know. It's difficult. Promotion is probably the biggest one, I think. Yeah, I mean, we've there's not a lot that we kind of haven't done in the cup. We've been to all these kind of places. Like, I remember when we went to Kilmarnock in the 4th round, when Kilmarnock had won that. They were like the most formed team in the country at that time with Steve Clark in charge. It was a great experience, actually. We'd actually really worked hard.
What was the score in the end?
It was 2-0. It was Stuart Finlay scoring absolute worldly from the end of the box. Really just I just had no idea how he managed to get it into there. And then he scored very late on with the second. But we had chance after chance middle of the second half to go and beat them, to go and potentially even get a replay, should I say. But so we've kind of, we've played Rangers a lot recently as well. I mean, maybe not so much recent, but maybe when they were coming through the leagues and stuff. So I think promotion to the second tier is probably, seeing how Arbroath are doing just now, like it would be probably the carrot.
Arbroath have done well to stay up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a surprise package. So I think semi-final of a cup run would be great. Like obviously Hampden Park, but would we really enjoy it? I mean, we wouldn't.
Oh yeah, you have to enjoy these things.
Would we be?
Aye, but the problem is if you get like a big club like any of the top 5, well, I say the top 5, we're now in the Championship, so I don't know if we can be classed as that. But like if you get that, like you're gonna, how many realistically are Forfar going to bring? 3, 4?
A few thousand, if that, maybe. Yeah.
So the atmosphere is going to be so one-sided.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, do we really want to go into that kind of stadium and be outnumbered 10, 11 to 1, 12 to 1, 15 to 1, so it's kind of that respect of it as well. But I don't know. Promotion is probably the biggest one for me. Moving on to the next one. So this is one that has been talked about a lot in different parts of the last 5 years or something like that. Well, maybe not so. Maybe in the last couple of years. If Celtic and Rangers were in the Premier League down south, where would they finish?
See, to be honest, I'd love to see Celtic and Rangers go down to the Premier League, kind of like Swansea and Cardiff. But I just think it would give, I don't know, because obviously the financial aspect of them up here is quite a big deal, but it would be interesting to see what the league would then look like without them. But I think they'd do well. I think they'd be 5th, 6th. They'd definitely be up there with the support they've got. And the thing is, if you think about the money package side of it as well, like even with the team, if you think about how limited Celtic and Rangers are in comparison to the big clubs down south, they'd probably come in as like a Sheffield United and stuff like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that level of like player and finance and stuff. After a couple of seasons and a couple of good finishes, they end up like building the money up. Do you know what I mean? To then go and push and be, I think they'd easily be a top 7, top 6 side.
I agree. I reckon one of them could actually challenge for it within the first decade of being down there.
Yeah,
I think with that money coming in, the huge fan base, players would have a better level to play at. You get but better sell-on fees, better fees
I
for
think
transfers.
I think you get more. There's going to be more desire to like play for the club too. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like the best, apparently the best competition in the world. So there's going to be more interest in more players. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like try to sell the SPL and having to play it like away up at Ross County and then Inverness and some of the farmers' fields that are some of the pitches in the SPL really isn't it like Tynecastle included in that before we got relayed. So yeah, I think without a doubt they'd be certainly in the top half.
I think the other thing that I'd kind of thought about as well is like you've touched on the support as well. Like that's a 12th man, whether you're home or away. They're so enthusiastic going away from home as well. I mean, you see them traveling around Europe, and they come in their thousands, they sign from minute 1 to 90. You know what I mean? And it's
you have to think about the tourism side of it as well. Is that like see talking about like Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal to an extent, City not so much because it's recently become like a big thing, but that is like the heritage behind the club. So Man United's got a really strong one, like the Busby Babes and all of the like Bobby Charlton and all that, like strong heritage. Same goes with Liverpool, Arsenal to an extent, but like there's a lot of tourist money that comes into that as well, kind of like tourists coming across just to see those clubs, and I feel like Celtic and Rangers would really like be that would be another source of revenue for them. Like you still get people coming across, but because they're in that league, we're like the best and the biggest names in Europe. Do you know what I mean? Like it then would be another source of revenue, which maybe we don't have in the Scottish League.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree, yeah. And I mean, who are actually bigger clubs than Celtic and Rangers in the UK? Maybe 3 or 4 clubs that are bigger, you'd say?
Tops, Man United,
Liverpool.
I would say.
Maybe Arsenal, but even.
But
so
even at that, Arsenal doesn't feel legit, you know what I mean?
No. Like, so they're in the top 5 clubs in the UK for actual size, so I think they would do very well down south personally. But it won't happen in the near future.
Yeah, first season, I think they both be like. I think Celtic would play about 7th or 8th, Rangers probably like 13th, 14th. So as you say, when the money comes in, they probably find their feet a bit and push themselves up the table. But
where would they start? Starting like what, League 2 minimum?
They can't go straight into the Premier League.
Get parachuted.
Yeah, you can't go straight into the Premier League. That's just like.
I don't think it would ever happen, but I think like I don't know how it worked with Swansea and Cardiff. I think that just like was always like that. I don't know. But I think it would be interesting to see, definitely. I like David Moyes' idea of a British Cup. I thought that'd be quality. It's like feasible. It would be good for like a pre-season cup though. Kind of like rather than going away like I know like Man United go away to the States and like China and Asia or across Asia and stuff like that. But it'd be good to get like kind of like almost like a Betfred Cup, but in the pre-season. Yeah, that'd be quality, man.
Be interesting, wouldn't it?
Then there's obviously the stuff about these like Celtic and Rangers. They'd be qualifying for Europe at this point, like July, August. So
I think the annoying thing about that is that like it obviously goes in coefficient and stuff like that, but you have to look at some of the results Rangers got in Europe. Unfortunately, Celtic never, but it just shows that they're good enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, was it Villarreal and then who was the other result? Braga. Like, they can keep up with the big boys. Do you know what I mean? And it's just frustrating that the way the UEFA coefficient and the league coefficients all work is that like down south the top 6 get it, which is like I think it defeats the purpose of the Champions League. Like the Champions League is like the top 4. It's got to be the champions. Like you can't just have like
the old style European Cup.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm quite old school when it comes to that though. Is that
like you have teams like who finish 4th in a league of 20 who get the Champions League. That I mean they're nowhere champions.
And it's just I think it's quite frustrating. Like you see like some of the French clubs in that getting it, and you're like, your league's really not that good. Like PSG, Lyon, Marseille are push. But
Marseille
not really.
But like even like
so Lyon are bang average too.
But this is what I'm saying is that like see if you put Rangers or Celtic up against them, you back Rangers and Celtic every day of the week, bar maybe PSG.
Yeah, PSG are a class.
Just because of the money.
At home, at home I'd back them. Away earlier I probably wouldn't, but
I mean, we saw that
Still think it's
recently
still
with
bad,
Celtic. You know, they went to PSG, went 1-0 in 2 minutes, got beat 6-7-1. So you know, it's a
Aye,
class
but I
of
think
that.
I think the thing with the Scottish game is you have to be realistic. Like, it's frustrating as hell because like we all love the Scottish game.
Yeah.
And we think it's the best league in the world, but without a doubt, because it's just like shit house today every week, and I absolutely love it. But I think it's just frustrating because you see like leagues that get the funding, like the English Premier League, Liga, a bit, Serie A, and like they've all got that money, but it's just frustrating to see that the Scottish League doesn't get that, and it creates such like a gap in golf.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
But had that money, would we lose a bit of our league in terms of the like originality of what it actually brings to us personally? I think part of their game, why it's good up here, is because it's not like ravaged by cash, ravaged by like players that 100.
But I think, but then even going back to like what we said about, remember last week when we were talking about like the quarantine and what's going to happen with that, is that even like, I don't know what's happening with the television deals as a result, but it's just like, it's still slowly underneath everything that's going on. There is still like your Sky Sports contracts, BT's contracts that are kind of dictating it, like as much as we can say.
That's the only reason that Premier League's starting again. It's just purely the television money. That's the only reason that it is starting again up and running. Yeah. All the clubs would be owed so much money back to TV companies if it didn't go ahead. That's literally what's happening.
Yeah. Well, that was a sort of good informed discussion on that one. Especially going in, like, where would they come in, and you know how they would eventually go on.
I can't even remember what the original question was.
So it's where Celtic and Rangers would finish.
All right, yeah.
Last question I've got. So you can bring one club legend back in their prime for a season.
In their prime for a season.
Who are you bringing back?
Has to be Robbo.
John Robertson. Okay.
Has to be Robbo for the goals. Could do with some of them. Bring him back now. Whatever age he's at. Probably still do a job.
I've actually never seen him play, but for me, I would love to see Ali McCoist play for Saints when he was 18 or 19. Apparently, he was unbelievable. I would love to see him play live at that age for Saints.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think Roddy Grant. Roddy Grant was good for Saints. I'd like to see Roddy Grant play now because he's a big physical boy, anyway. So that would be good in this league we have now. I would probably see Roddy Grant. Yeah.
Solid.
Surprised Don didn't say Paul Peter.
Oh, he's a bit of a unionist now, to be honest. So I've got off him a bit.
Oh God! Look at you bringing politics into football again. Classic Celtic fan.
And Don, did you go to the Falkirk game in the Betfred where he played for Falkirk? No. Did you go to
I wasn't there. It's that one.
Yeah. I went with somebody. Did I go with you, Sean?
1-0. Yes, he did. He did go away. Yep. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Can I just say, I watched back the Scottish Cup final from 2014, right? On Wednesday night. Was it Wednesday night? Yeah, it was Wednesday night, right? And I now understand why we won that game. Because Paul Payton was in the Dundee midfield, and the back four, apart from Robertson, was Sean Dillon, it was Gavin Gunning, and it was Keith Watson. That's why we won. Yeah.
Gavin Gunning was a player. I liked him.
I think he was a wee bit past it in 2014. I think that was when he was. What year was it when he picked the ball up and ran away?
No, it was against Inverness. The year after, I think.
I think so. But yeah, that's why we won that game. Those four. Everybody else was quality anyway. Those four players.
Who would you bring back before for a club legend?
Oh, I don't know.
Gavin Swanky.
You wouldn't be far off the top of the list, but
Mate,
that Dylan Easton was good for you.
I liked Dylan Easton. I really liked him. I thought he was one of the most. He was like straight up so talented. Like he was the one player I would go. He's like one of the very few players I've gone and thought, right, if he's on the park, something's good going to happen today, because every time 1-on-1 against his fullback out wide, pushing into the penalty box, always knew how to go past him. Always knew how to go past him.
And
Where did
Patty,
he start his career? He started at Saints, did he not?
He had,
Yeah.
there was a lot of questions over his attitude, was it? At Saints?
yeah, don't want to get into it in a
Yeah.
public broadcast, but yeah, there's a few sort of question marks raised about his attitude and work rate.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, with him, I saw him play like aged 18 in a reserve game, and he was like best player in the park, and his head was always up. He was a playmaker, great at looking for options, and I thought he would go a lot further than he did in the game.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know if I went all wrong,
Yeah.
but it looked promising.
But like I say, there's no doubt in his ability. In my opinion, he should be like we kind of said from the middle of the first season when he was just tearing it up, making things happen for Forfar. We always said he should be in the league above, if not a bit more than that. Like maybe in the bottom end of the Premiership.
He's been at Kelty now, isn't he?
He's at Kelly
Well,
now. Yeah, he's on.
It's mad,
Sitting Conservatives as part-time as well.
Yeah, he's on. He's been so. From what I've seen, he's been kind of in and out of the team, but I think that he's maybe had injury problems as well, especially towards the start of last season for Kelly.
What sort of wages did they pay Patty? Do you have any idea, Kelty?
I don't know. I think it's not
Need
too
Lewis for that
similar
one.
to.
Lewis
Top 10.
Frieder's got the inside knowledge and all that.
Aye.
Yeah, it's not too far away from like second, third tier football, is it? No, it's not far away from that.
It's a lot. I've heard, I'm not going to say exact figures, but I've heard ballpark figures, and all say as I can't remember who told me, but somebody told me that Nathan Austin's on more at Kelty than he was at Inverness in the Championship.
Yeah, I heard that as well. But I
That's
mean,
mad.
we don't have the facts to stand that up, obviously. But yeah,
And I heard, but I think there's like some clause in the contract that is like it links into contractual work, so like building contractor.
Yeah, I heard that as well. I heard that from a couple of Forfar fans when Dylan Easton went out the door and went to Kelty, is that he was on some kind of external work for I think it was maybe a sponsorship potentially. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was like something like that was tied into his contract. But I might be completely wrong on that.
Two conservatives a week.
Yeah.
Plus football.
Let's be clear. If any of this is wrong, we do apologise. But we're kind of.
This is all like hearsay.
So